Hey gang, I want you to meet a client of mine, turning pro coaching client, Matthew Malin. And he's the St. Olaf freshman goalie, so first year college. I think you had a 906 save percentage this season. Is that right, Matt?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And you came through the Canmore Eagles via a few other a non-traditional route, let's say. So I thought it would be great if we could just kind of talk a bit about your path and we started working together. I think it was in 2018.
I think so. I was 14 years old.
Yeah, and I got some videos from that first turning pro training camp you were at. It's just amazing, amazing. It's like little baby Matthew. But um, where were you? Do you remember what was going on there with your hockey and what even like how? Yeah,
That
what
was
got
the
us
year.
going?
Yeah, that was the year I made the jump to AAA hockey. I've been playing A-level hockey my whole life, maybe B-level. I was just having fun out there, and then I had an opportunity to go, and I definitely took it. But yeah, no, it was a transition time for me.
Yeah, for sure it was. We'll kind of go back and we'll talk about the steps, but let's talk about now 7 years down the road, kind of how's how's life and hockey changed for you for the better?
Well, I'm playing college hockey now, and yeah, all the steps along the way got me ready to play competitive hockey here, and it's been going really well, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, I was so excited for you to get to college hockey and just to have um that experience, of being a student athlete, and it's really different from playing junior. We'll chat about that a little bit. I don't even know, were you doing off ice training before we started working together, or?
I was doing the team stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
and that was back when I was still very pliable, and the consequences of not doing goalie training were less at the time. But they have definitely those consequences have gone up exponentially since then.
yeah, yeah. You get old young when you are goalie. Now you have what I call the dubious honor of being one of the. I actually, like, top of my head, I can't even really think of another one, but I hear a lot from goalies like I got screwed and politics and this and that. Um, you're actually the only guy that I'm like, yeah, and stuff happens, situations happen, and it wasn't. I don't think anybody was like, oh, we're gonna screw that kid, but situations just really didn't work out for you. So it was a very non-traditional route. What Tell me a little bit about, I think the thing that has impressed me the most about your career so far is how well you navigated. Like, you had season where you didn't play at all because of none of your fault,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got into COVID, did we not?
Yes, so I basically had 2 seasons out. I think overall I've been cut from every team before I actually made it the next year. Um, so yeah, that was, I mean, I moved when I was 16 up to Canada to play ideally AAA hockey. I'd be closer to good goalie coaching and family up there. I move up there, get cut from AAA, get cut from AA. I'm going, okay, I'm not going to be getting any better playing on an A level travel team here. So that was the year to spend working with those goalie coaches that I moved up for. Um, Getting on there. Well, we're not spending money on team fees, so I guess we're spending on goalie coaching now. Spend a year getting better, and then you make midget prep at NAX the next year for um, for my 17-year-old year. So that was, and then COVID hit. So I got a sum total of 6 games that year.
Yeah.
I was going, darn it, that was gonna be my breakout year. Okay, well,
Oh, that was
next
it.
year
Yeah.
my breakout year, I guess. So, and then you find a team, and after bouncing around through the camp situations, you land in Canmore by accident because they just happen to need a goalie at my age. So then you play you start off you play about 15 games that year. I think I go into a few round some total of 17 games for me, and then you make the all rookie team South Division that first year, and that felt amazing. But that was that was just somehow happened through a whole circuitous path, and I'm just glad I never gave up along the way.
Well, that's the thing. Like I think, it's that's the thing that I really admire about you is that we always, like the mission never changed, right? I remember us talking. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't stop you from working every day to become the best goalie you can possibly be, whether you're able to show it right now or next year or the year after. And I think that's the thing. You were always willing, but ready to make the most of every single opportunity. And you sure did that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I mean, like I couldn't have. I had you there helping me out. You were giving me the motivation on the sidelines too. But no, each step of the way, I was going, okay, can my body physically do the next step? And it could, and that's partly why I'm here, because somebody else gets hurt and I stay healthy, and you get an opportunity that you don't expect, and you're ready for it. And when you can do that, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that kind of leads to a good point because, yeah, goaltending is hard on the body. There are going to be, tweaks and injuries along the way. And so even when you were playing junior hockey or prep school hockey, there'd be team training. So in season, we always adjusted what we did to supplement what you were doing with your team, not to have like, oh, I got the team workout, and now I've got Maria's workout and, just too much volume. But we
Yeah.
always sort of, okay, they're checking off these big boxes with the, squats and deadlifts and all those things. But where are they missing the goalie specific elements? And then, just plugging those in so that we're not adding a lot of fatigue, we're not adding wear and tear, but we're doing those bridging exercises that help you translate that weight room strength onto the ice, but helping keep you durable as well. How do you feel that kind of has worked for you over these last few years?
Well, I know last year in playoffs, we went on a good long playoff run for the first time in about 20 years for the team, and or 21, and I ended up playing 16 games in 32 days or something crazy like that, and yeah, and that was over a month period. So my hips and joints, I mean, the season ended and I collapsed, but figuratively, but my body was able to hold up with that grind, and I was able to actually keep pushing through it and not hurt myself in the process. So that's kudos to you for that one. Thank you.
Well, it's never me because I write it on the paper. You actually do the work, so I can write lots of things on paper that don't come true. So
Yeah.
it's a nice, fun team effort, right? It's been really fun. Talk a little bit about, I mean, like in terms of a place to live, landing in Canmore isn't really the worst place in the world, but that's, I think sometimes younger goalies think, oh, if I could just get to this level, then it'll be kind of easier somehow, like then I'll be set. But it doesn't get easier. It just gets harder and harder every level you move up. How do you think that time spent in Canmore helps prepare you for being a freshman at St. Olaf? So a few years since you've been in actual real school, and balancing it all.
It was definitely an adjustment making the transition. Um, I think for me, like level of play, like the intensity is always there wherever you are. So you're playing with guys that really want to go play college hockey, and everyone's pushing at all times from wherever you are. No matter if you're the top team, bottom team, there is no in quotes easy team, because anyone can win on any given night. As we proved in both directions after beating Brooks and losing to Olds, who are both
Yeah.
supposed to be best and the worst teams. So anything is possible there. So that prepped me for sure for college hockey in that way. Um, I think coming out of no school for that 3 year period or so was it was a difference. It was a bit crazy. Your free time in junior hockey is a bit more than your free time in college hockey. Trying to uh, what's the word? Trying to balance a school and depending on the major you're taking as well. Like for me, trying to take physics at the same time was a bit straining on the mind and body at the same time. So that was never easy, but in a way, it almost helped me because I got to stay focused. And every time I got to the rink, it felt like a breath of air for me. And I had the best time of my life every time I was at the rink, and you just appreciate it so much more. So you hit the ice, and everything else seems to fall away a little for you. And you can kind of forget about school for your hour and a half on the ice or whatever it is. And then you almost play better in games because of it. And
Yeah.
then you get back in your room and you're okay, now I've got to study till midnight and maybe 1 a.m. depending on what it is, and you're waking up at 7 a.m. Okay, that's not ideal, but yes,
Yeah.
the schedule is not ideal ever, but it's always you can get the job done still, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, and it's neat to have hockey get to be like a fun treat again and
Yeah,
not sort of seem just like a job. It's like, okay, well actually this is the fun part of my day, like you said.
yeah. In junior hockey, you definitely felt the you would feel the grind of hockey a little bit more in some ways because in college you only play about 25 games a season. For me in juniors, it was a 60-game season, so
Yeah.
you feel it as a job a little bit more in juniors sometimes, and then you can bring yourself sometimes to remember what it was worth, and then you just go, okay, no, this is still fun, but it takes more of a conscious effort to do that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Thinking about like other goalies that they aren't drafted, they don't sort of have that easy path, which is the majority of goalies out there, but they want to play junior or college just like you did. And the way, what are kind of three tips or revelations, or what would you say if you were talking to 14 or 16-year-old Matthew? What would you tell him that would help him follow that similar path?
um Ask them, you can quit anytime. You can say you can quit anytime you want, you don't have to do this. And every time I'd answer myself, hell no, I want to keep doing it because I love hockey so much. So that's when you remember that, it's okay, you know what, would I rather be going to school and getting a real life right now, or would I be rather living the dream and playing hockey and keep on going? And every time you answer yourself, yeah, I'd rather play hockey, you're still doing it right. That's the big thing I'd say to myself there. Um, it's never going to be easy. How much are you willing to give up for this? That's the other thing. How much are you willing to put into it? And if the answer is not enough, or I'm not really doing it anymore as much, then it's just okay. You know what? It's not the path anymore. But I never said that to myself, and I kept on going. So that was awesome. And then,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm on a meeting with my trainer. Sorry, benefits to working outside.
Yeah.
Uh, you see people, Uh,
Benefits of being in college.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear what the heck? Okay. Um, a third tip. What would I say? The grind and putting in the work. Eat food. You're gonna need it.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
need it. Your body's gonna die otherwise. So keep.
Yeah. That's another one that we'll wrestle with this off season too. So
I
it's
with this one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think let's also like again, I feel like 75% of the goalies I talk to are like, I want to play junior or college. But they're either not really doing anything, like, or they're like, oh, I do stretches and plyometrics, or like just sort of or they've kind of cobbled together their own workout, which is like a chest and back day and leg, like it's or they're just like, oh, I do my team workouts, and that's it. And what they're not seeing gains, like minimal gains on the ice, but they're not really seeing like, wow, this okay, now my body's connected from the gym to the ice. What would you say to those guys and girls?
I mean, the gym workouts are big muscle focused and mostly directed at the players because the coaches don't actually know the differences between being a player and a goalie. So, I mean, for me, like, yeah, they'll work those big squat muscles. I'll get some good leaps out of it every once in a while. Um, but I won't be able to. I mean, you filled in the gaps where I'm able to get those hips in the right place so I can lift my knee up to the right height so I can get that push across the crease. I can do all of those pivots around my post. I can my RVH is strong because of this. That was one compliment from my coach in goalie coach in Canmore when he was there, which was RVH was one of the stronger points in my game. So being able to use my hips in that way is incredible. My comment this year from my coach was incredible athleticism. Okay, I can move. I can move out there horizontally. I can move side to side. I need to make sure I can keep on doing that. So yes, plyos are important and all that stuff is important, but if you're not working on those smaller muscles, you're going to be losing energy in your pushes. You're not going to be getting the same kind of efficiency. I think it's really important to be able to do those kinds of things to stop the puck and getting to the right places at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. And not just make the first save, but the second save and maybe the third save if you need it.
And heck, it makes you better at making the first save too. If you can
Yeah.
get if you can get there, you can stop it, right? Get your feet set early and all those kinds of things. Like those are important.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Matthew, I appreciate you taking the time. I know that it's crunch time at uni right now, and there's probably a lot of catching up to do after the hockey season, but it's just yeah, it's one of the just pure joys of my life to work with guys like you, and we've been together so long and to see how far you've come. So yeah, it's just I can't wait for this off season. I'm so excited and thank you for just sharing your story because I can tell people, but it means so much more to them to hear it from you and just because they feel alone. They're a lot of them are in the same situation as you are. So to see what you were able to do and how you did it, it's inspiring. So I thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the interview.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Okay, boss. Well then, yeah, you enjoy the rest of your day and go learn some stuff and do some physics. And yeah, I'll talk with you soon.
All right, thank you.
All right, see you, Matthew.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.